Hey, this video is for those of you in your 30s, or even if you're in your 20s, this will still apply. One of the biggest mystery ever in my videos is, how old am I? Well, I'm obviously in my 30s, otherwise I'm not qualified to speak in this video. But whether I'm in my early 30s or mid 30s or late 30s, let's just continue to keep that a secret. Anyways, I just want to get straight to the point. If you're in your 30s, you have got to start thinking about getting started as an influencer or content creator. And by that, I mean uploading content to your preferred platform choice. So it could be YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. It doesn't matter which, just choose one platform you use most often. I know this sounds extremely out of place, it feels out of the blue, but hear me out for a second because it will make sense, especially because we're about the same age. Being in your 30s is very different from being in your 20s. When you're in your 20s, you are pretty fresh in the world we live in. You start to learn things like cost of living, paying bills, paying rent, climbing the corporate ladder, building your career, and of course, there's fun to be had as well. You travel, you go for movies, you hang out with friends, try out good food, explore, have adventures. Basically, being in your 20s is fun, but every little thing that's done in your 20s involves money. So it feels like you either save up your money and have less fun, or you have fun and save little money. Then when you reach your 30s, life's changed again. Suddenly you run out of stamina, you can't stay up as late as you used to, you get tired and sleepy easily, or maybe you have even settled down and started a family. I'm one of those who never have fun in my 20s. I stay at home, I save up money as much as I can, I cut down on entertainment, and I try to buy my first home, my first property. I'm a really boring person. And of course, I achieved what I wanted at the expense of fun. But sometimes I feel like I shouldn't have been so conservative because you only live once. The strangest thing about saving money is it is never enough. I can have 5 figures or 6 figures saved up, but it is never enough. It sort of becomes like an addiction where I enjoy seeing large numbers in my bank account and I don't want to spend a single dime. But on the bright side, if I didn't work hard saving up money in my 20s, I wouldn't be able to afford to buy a home, which has skyrocketed in recent years. There's pros and cons to both, and there needs to be a balance between saving and spending. Alright, what has this got to do with being an influencer, right? Well, what I learned from my experience is that one way to live our life to the fullest and not have to worry about money is if we can have a constant flow of income coming in month after month. So on paper, this is very simple, right? You have a full-time job that gives you a steady stream of income. But that full-time job kinda ties you down. You have maybe 2 weeks of annual leave a year that you can use, but the majority of the time you have in a year is spent on work. Hence, having a job doesn't necessarily give you time freedom, and time is the most precious asset you can have in your 30s. In order to counter that, you'll need to work on side hustles, something that you can do out of business hours or on the weekends. So you can be an Uber driver, you can do Amazon delivery or do food delivery. Thing is, this sort of side hustles still take up time and energy, so it is not necessarily that sustainable. Or perhaps you can take on a second job, like work at McDonald's or something. But again, the problem is you do not have the time and energy. That's why I think being an influencer could be the way to go. It is easy to do, all you need is a smartphone, and these days, even the simple vlog style video is more than sufficient. Alright, at this stage, you probably have a few objections against this. So let's see if I got them covered. First, you may think that you don't have to do side hustles because you have a secure job, which may be true, but it depends on your level of responsibilities as well. Most of the ones who are in their 40s are usually managerial positions. But the issue is there's a limited number of those positions and not everyone is capable or enjoys management. So as we grow older, we become less attractive to employers, mainly because we are too expensive due to our extensive experience. So employers may choose to lay us off and hire a much younger employee using half your salary. That's why I don't think job security is a thing. Our prime time is in our 20s and 30s where we are most wanted for our skill sets. But when you hit your 40s, it's more about managing people and there's limited positions for that. So there's a chance where you might get laid off because your colleague is the one who got that managerial position or you just became too damn experienced. And this becomes a huge issue, especially if you have a family to take care of, if you need to put food on the table. You just can't afford for something like that to happen to you. So that's my take on job security. Another objection to being an influencer is, well, influencer is for the young people, for people that can't afford to get a real job, for the dreamers out there. I tend to agree with you on this one. I do think to some extent, those who chose to be an influencer have those intentions. But you don't need to think like them. The world has changed since we were in our 20s. These days, the experts you see are no longer the ones where you need to sign up for workshops or pay thousands of dollars just to spend 2 to 3 days stuck in a course in order to learn something that you will never use. These days, the experts you see are simply normal people like you and I who merely share their experience, their knowledge, and their value. If there's anything we have in our 30s that we don't in our 20s, it is experience. The experience we gain over the years is very valuable and it is unique to us always. And those in their 20s, that's how they access information now. Information is so vast these days that you don't even have time to read. You just want to watch a video to learn how to do something, a video that is curated, concise, and demonstrates how it is done. Also, I'm not talking about being an influencer where there's always something happening, where everything is sunshine and rainbow. I'm talking about those influencers who are just sharing what they do best. So if you like skiing, do some videos on ski gears, learning to ski, the mountains you go to, something like that. I'm sure there's an audience for that. Or if you like investing, then share how you invest whilst having a full-time job. I'm sure someone out there in the world wants to learn and emulate your success. Whatever it is, there's something you own that no one else has. You just need to find an angle to it. But here comes the next objection. Why do this for others for free when I don't even have time to spend on myself or with my family? Okay, this may just be me, but I always believed in delayed gratification. Whatever I do right now may seem pointless, but it is extremely beneficial in the long term. Producing content on your selected social media platform can have two long-term benefits, and the first one is opening up opportunities. The world has changed when it comes to marketing. You no longer see companies approaching only big celebrities to be their ambassador or do sponsored content. Micro-influencers are just as welcome. Imagine this. Here you are producing skiing content, a sport you enjoy and love, and you are producing content because you love it. Then you slowly build up your audience, you gain traction, and sponsors may come to you. They might ask you for sponsored content, or maybe they send you some gears to review, and then you get to keep those ski gears. And who knows, maybe your audience loves you and you start thinking about creating your own products line, which is possible. And all of this is as a result of uploading content consistently. Or maybe not skiing, maybe just being a share market analysis and investor because you're enthusiast. You may be really good at reading the market, reading up companies, so you decided to share your homework, your findings on a daily basis. Because the work you put in is extremely valuable, you decide to put your content or videos behind a subscription, and only those who pay your subscription have access to that private content. Of course, that's just an example. You need to be careful with sharing details about the share market. But I have seen this happening to one of my viewers, and he was already making 6 figures in 6 months. Another benefit to this is If you have kids, then take it as documenting your knowledge and experience for your kids so they can learn from you and not repeat the mistakes you made. I think once you have kids, you want to provide them with all the experience and knowledge you have so that they can be way smarter than you. But they don't necessarily understand what you are talking about when you are in your 30s. And by the time they are ready, you may already be in your 50s and too tired to explain to them. Or maybe they don't even want to listen to you anymore. So to me, having content and videos like this shows who I am, the values I leave behind for them, and they can watch it when they are ready. On top of that, I also believe it sets a good example for our kids, that it is always worth trying new things, tackling the unknown, and getting out of our comfort zone. And that's my meaning of influence. It is not about showing off, not about gloating or faking things. It is about being real and genuinely sharing so that others can achieve what you achieve at a price in some point in time, of course. Being an influencer to me is about creating your own opportunities by using our precious time efficiently and effectively. Sure, we may not get anything in terms of money, especially at the start, but at the end of the day, as long as the content we produce is good, I have no doubt something will come your way. And if nothing happens, the content you produce still ends up valuable because your kids are going to appreciate it, and there's nothing better than being a good role model for them.